Dear learners, how are you all? I think all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome you all in our today's online class. Here I am Laila Arjuman, lecturer in English, Milestone College. Today I will discuss an important topic. The name of the topic is narration. It contains 5 marks. You can get 5 marks if you write the correct answer. And for this, you have to know what is narration, how many kinds of narration, and how you can change it. So, let's have a look on the board. Narration. Narration is the speech of the speaker. There are 2 types of narration. Number 1, direct narration, and number 2, indirect narration. Here I wrote 2 sentences. Rahat said to me, you have done your duty. In the second sentence I wrote here, Rahat said to me that I had done my duty. So my dear learners, what is the difference between 2 sentences? Look, in the first sentence I use comma and inverted comma. In inverted comma, I wrote here reported speech. In inverted comma, I wrote here reported speech, and before comma, I wrote Rahat said to me. Here, said is reporting verb. But in the second sentence, you can see that Rahat said to me that I had done my duty. Here, I wrote a complex sentence. I am using here that, and I change here subject I and the tense of the verb. In direct speech, I wrote here I have done. It's a present perfect tense. But in the indirect speech, I wrote here I had done. Here the tense is past perfect tense. So if you want to change direct to indirect, you have to remember that you need change subject and the tense of the verb. So my dear students, now you can understand that what is direct and what is indirect speech. Direct speech means when the speaker delivered the lecture directly, and for direct speech we can use inverted comma. But in indirect speech we can change the inverted comma, and instead of inverted comma we change subject and the tense of the verb. So in my next lecture I will show you how we can change from direct speech to indirect speech. Dear students, here I have selected a board question for your practice. The passage is from Borishal Board 2017. Before solve the passage and for changing the passage, at first it is your duty to read the passage thoroughly. And you need to identify who is the speaker here. So let's have a look on the board. At first we need to read the passage carefully. Please give me your English grammar book, said Fahim. I cannot give it, said Arjuman. I have to take it with me in the class. I shall return the book before the class starts, said Fahim. Take it, said Arjuman. Thanks, said Fahim. So my dear students, already I read the whole passage. Students, already we have read the full passage. Now we can change the passage from direct to indirect. So first line is, please give me your English grammar book, said Fahim. Here in inverted comma it's an imperative sentence. Here Fahim requested Arjuman to give him his English grammar book. That's why I wrote here Fahim requested. Here I use requested because in the here you can see a word that is please. By this word Fahim requested Arman. That's why I wrote here Fahim requested Arman to give him. Here F indicates Fahim and A indicates Arman. I wrote here Fahim requested Arman to give him his English grammar book. Please, you can see that here in this passage I use to. In imperative sentence, when we change the sentence from direct to indirect, we need to add to. And after to, we add verb present form. That's why I wrote here to give him his English grammar book. In the second sentence, you can say that I cannot give it, said Arman. Arman said to Fahim that he could not give it. Here I told you that could not, but here write cannot. But I wrote here Arman said that he could not give it. You need to remember that if you see present tense in direct speech, in indirect speech you have to write in past tense. So the past form is could not, and I indicates here Arif. That's why I wrote here he could not give it. In the third sentence, I have to take it with me in the class. This speech also delivered by Arman. That's why I wrote here he, that means Arman, told Fahim that he had to take it with him in the class. And in the fourth sentence, Fahim said that I shall return the book before the class starts. In the first sentence, shall indicates future and starts present tense. And I indicate Fahim. And it is a simple sentence. That's why I wrote here Fahim said that he, that means Fahim, would. The past form is shall here, would, because he is third person singular number. He would return the book before the class started. Here it starts, I wrote here started. And next, take it, said Arman. Arman told Fahim to take it. It's an imperative sentence, that's why I used here to. Then, thanks, said Fahim. Here, Fahim thanked Arman. So that's why I write here Fahim thanked Arman. It is a present tense, but I wrote here past tense. So my dear students, you can understand that when you see present tense in direct speech, you can change it into past tense in indirect speech. If you see imperative sentence in the reported speech, you need to add to in indirect speech. And if you see assertive sentence, then you have to add that for indirect speech. So let's have a look for next passage. Now I will read the second passage. This passage is from Rajshahi Board 2017. So let's have a look on the board and read the passage. Whose picture is it? I asked. A little girl's, of course, said grandmother. Cannot you tell? Yes, but do you know the girl? Yes, I knew the girl, said Granny. But she was a very wicked girl and I should not tell you about her. So the speaker of the passage is I and grandmother. Here in first sentence, it is an interrogative sentence. Whose picture is it? The second sentence is assertive sentence. A girl's, of course. Can't you tell? It's an interrogative sentence. Then yes, but do you know the girl? It's interrogative also. I knew the girl. It's an assertive sentence, but she was a very wicked girl and I should tell you about her. Here, the last sentence is assertive sentence. Dear students, now I will show you how we can change the passage from direct speech to indirect speech. Look, the first sentence is, whose picture it is? I asked. It is an interrogative sentence and the tense of the sentence is present tense. And here speaker is I and the listener is grandmother. That's why I wrote here, I asked grandmother whose picture it was. Here is present tense. I wrote here was. I convert it present tense to past tense. In the second sentence, our little girls, of course, said grandmother. Here, this is an assertive sentence and the speaker is grandmother. That's why I wrote here, she, that means grandmother, replied that it was a little girls, of course. Then the third sentence is, can't you tell? Here the speaker is also grandmother. That's why I wrote here, grandmother asked me if I couldn't tell. Next, I will show you the fourth sentence. The next sentence is, yes, but do you know the girl? I asked. Here, the speaker is I and the listener is Granny. And the sentence started by yes. If you see in any sentence, yes, in that case you have to write replied in the affirmative. And if you say no, in that case you have to write replied in the negative. Here I wrote here, I replied in the affirmative and asked Granny if she knew the girl. The second sentence is an interrogative sentence and the sentence started by do. That's why I wrote here if. And it is a present tense. That's why I convert it into past tense. In the next sentence, yes, I knew her, said Granny. Here the speaker is Granny and the listener is me. That's why I wrote here, Granny replied in the affirmative and added that she had known her. Here I wrote here had known because the sentence is past tense. If we see the sentence is past tense, we have to convert it into past perfect. That's why I wrote here had known. The second sentence is, but she was a very wicked girl and I should not tell you about her. Here the speaker is Granny also. And that's why I add here, but the girl had been a very wicked girl. Here I wrote here had been because was is past tense. That's why I convert it into past perfect tense had been. And Granny would not tell me about her. Here the speaker was third person singular number Granny. That's why I wrote here would not. Tell me. Here you indicates me. That's why I wrote here me about her. That means Granny would not tell me about the girl. So, my dear students, that's all for today. I think you need to practice more and more at your home. And if you face any problem, then you can share this problem with me. You can contact anytime. And I will try my best to solve your problem. So, take care of your health, practice more, read more, and stay safe. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.